Hi, my name is Alex, and this is Travel TitBits 9. So, in this video, I'm just going to conclude our trip to North America and Canada. So, having left Niagara Falls, we made quite a long trek over to Washington, D.C. We arrived there at night, and the next day we had a trip around the main sites of Washington. The usual places. We went to have a look at the White House from a safe distance. We went to look at the Lincoln Memorial. That's very impressive. A very large man in a very large chair, looking very stern, and his famous words written in stone behind him. It was also very poignant going to Arlington Cemetery to see the JFK Memorial. And during 1981, it was the year that a new president was sworn in. One they said would never be sworn in because surely an actor would never be elected president of the United States. But they did so in January of that year that we were in America. And in March, someone tried to shoot him. And that was actually part of our tour, this nondescript area of Washington. It didn't look particularly different to any other part of Washington that we'd been shown. We were allowed to get out and walk around. Anyway, as we know, President Ronald Reagan was only minorly hurt and made a full recovery. But it definitely spooked the Americans at the time because it was still less than 20 years after the assassination of JFK. Now we've all watched the movies and read the books and seen all the different conspiracy theories. But it is something that's kind of part of the American psyche, and in political circles at least, it doesn't seem to be too far below the surface. I follow a few aviation channels, and one guy in particular likes going around aviation museums, and I can't remember exactly where it was, but the presidential jet that JFK used is now a museum piece, and it's possible to go around and examine it. And yeah, there were some interesting gizmos on display. That's where the president sat, and that's where the first lady stood whilst Lyndon Johnson was being sworn in, and so on and so forth. But one little known fact that I'll share with you now is that many years ago I visited a car museum in the Cotswolds of England, and in there, to my surprise, was the very limo that JFK was sat in on that fateful day in Dallas. It was the last vehicle I expected to see amongst, classic cars and tractors and all kinds of interesting road vehicles. I wish I remembered the story of how they acquired it, but there you go. It's such an important piece of American history. Ended up in the Cotswold, and it's not even a very large museum. So there you go. Well, we had a whirlwind trip around North America and Canada, and as young 21-22-year-olds, it certainly left an impression on us. America is a busy place, and that was having been our first visit. So yeah, it left an interesting impression. A lot of variety, beautiful countryside, busy cities, I certainly was up for more, and my friend was too. So, the start of many journeys to follow. Tomorrow we'll be taking a slightly different turn. So, we'll see you tomorrow.